Let me take a wild guess. Yet another finance enthusiast with a yacht and an ego that's just as grand? Emma Wilson tilted her black cowboy hat, casting a wary glance at the man seated across the restaurant. Her long brown hair flowed elegantly over her white blouse, making her a striking presence in Boston's evening dinner crowd. James Montgomery's jaw fell open just a bit at the sight of her. This was the unassuming farm girl his sister had painted a picture of. The woman making her way to his table exuded a palpable sense of self-assurance. Her blue eyes locked onto his with a fervor that took him by surprise. Emma Wilson, he succeeded, rising to welcome her. So, you must be the captivating and accomplished entrepreneur Olivia couldn't stop praising, she said with a subtle smile. The unwanted blind date had commenced for both of them. Earlier that week, James found himself overwhelmed with paperwork at Montgomery Developments when his sister Olivia suddenly entered his office. You need to find a life outside of this place, James, she urged, sitting on his desk. Emma has arrived in town for a conference. She's exceptional, intelligent, stunning, and entirely unlike the social climbers you typically pursue. A girl from a Montana farm? James cast a disapproving glance at his sister. We wouldn't share any common ground. That is precisely the essence. Simply dinner, James. A single dinner. As he sat across from Emma, James felt an unexpected sense of engagement wash over him. She possessed a beauty that transcended the ordinary. She was eloquent, provocative, and entirely different from what he had anticipated. Do you really manage the ranch on your own? He inquired, captivated, even with his earlier doubts lingering. Emma nodded alongside her father and brother. The Wilson Ranch has been in our family for 3 generations. I divide my time between overseeing operations and my veterinary practice. You also practice veterinary medicine. What's the unexpected reaction about? She arched an eyebrow. Did you really think I would spend my days simply riding horses and milking cows? James felt a rush of warmth spread across his cheeks. I didn't intend. Of course you did, Emma chuckled, though there was no bitterness in her tone. It's all right. When ranch is mentioned, many envision scenes straight out of a classic Western film. As their meal unfolded, James discovered he was revealing more than he typically would on initial encounters. Emma posed insightful inquiries regarding his development projects, demonstrating an impressive understanding of business and economics. While my family tends to the land, it's essential for us to grasp the intricacies of the markets, she elaborated. The interplay of cattle prices, land values, and interest rates reveals a complex web of connections. How is everything going with your work? James inquired. A shadow swept across Emma's face. Demanding. Family ranches are vanishing throughout Montana. Corporate agriculture and developers are transforming the terrain. James felt a sense of unease as he contemplated his company's latest endeavor, a lavish resort envisioned for the mountainous terrain of Montana, the very place Emma cherished as home. What brings you to this vibrant city of Boston? He inquired, shifting the topic. Conference for veterinarians, focusing on specialty sessions in large animal medicine. Additionally, Olivia kept insisting that I meet her exceptional brother during my visit. She certainly has a way of sticking to her goals, James thought with a smile, reminding himself to express his gratitude to his sister. Following their meal, James escorted Emma to her hotel. The coolness of the spring evening enveloped them, while the city lights danced in her eyes as she glanced his way. She confessed that she had formed an opinion about you before truly knowing you. James concluded, I assumed you were just a cocky city dude focused solely on cash. She smiled, something like that. I admit my mistake. I anticipated a straightforward country girl. I made a mistake as well. They lingered at the hotel entrance, both hesitant to bring the evening to a close. Emma mentioned that she would be around for another week. Would you be willing to give me a tour of Boston? I'd like that, James replied, sensing an unforeseen bond with this woman who had stepped into his meticulously arranged existence, adorned with a cowboy hat. As they traded numbers, James's phone vibrated with a new email notification. He cast a brief look at it, then tensed up. Is everything all right? Emma inquired. James nodded instinctively, yet his thoughts were in a whirlwind. The email included the completed maps for the Montana Resort project, with the Wilson Ranch property marked as a significant acquisition target. Simply focus on the task at hand, he insisted, managing a smile. Nothing of significance. Emma examined his features closely. For someone who insists it's trivial, you suddenly appear as if you've encountered a specter. James tucked his phone away. The spark he felt with Emma now tangled in the complexities of business realities he couldn't overlook. Apologies, it's just a routine I've developed. If you have some time tomorrow, I would be delighted to take you around Boston. As they wrapped up their plans, James sensed he was straddling two different realms. The woman who had felt so foreign in his existence just hours earlier now rendered his realm of acquisitions and development trivial by comparison. And somewhere in Montana, an unforeseen collision course awaited them both. You've never experienced the thrill of being on a sailboat? James assisted Emma as she stepped onto his 40-foot yacht, moored gracefully in Boston Harbor. The morning sun shimmered on the water as Emma found her balance. Horses typically don't need life jackets, she said with a playful smile, adjusting the jacket she had borrowed. James groaned. I'm quite confident I could manage your boat far better than you managed Daisy in that riding video Olivia shared with me. My sister really ought to refrain from sharing those cringeworthy childhood videos. 5 days into Emma's Boston visit, a comfortable routine had begun to take shape. James had rescheduled appointments to take Emma on a tour of historical sites, museums, and now his cherished harbor. The water has always served as my refuge, he shared, as they glided by the city skyline. When negotiations become intricate or stakeholders raise their expectations, I step into the fray. Emma let her fingers glide through the refreshing Atlantic water. There's a ridge at the ranch that serves as my sanctuary for contemplation. Not exactly as elaborate as this, but the concept remains the same. Later that afternoon, James made his way back to his penthouse for a video call that he simply couldn't postpone. The screen was dominated by the visage of his business partner. Is that you, James? We need to act on those Montana properties, Michael stated directly. Landowners are beginning to raise their eyebrows. We must act quickly to secure the Wilson Ranch and the adjacent parcels. Otherwise, the entire Mountain View Resort project may be at risk of collapsing. James massaged his temples. Michael, I have some reservations about the approach. These are family-run enterprises, not corporate entities. Since when have you prioritized feelings over financial gain? Michael's gaze sharpened. The figures align perfectly. The investors are dedicated. What has shifted? James refrained from bringing up Emma. Everything remains the same. I simply wish to make sure we maintain a respectful approach. Being respectful won't seal the deal, Michael responded. The team is set to journey to Montana next week. Your approval on the final offers is required. With a sense of hesitation, James finally signed off on the paperwork, then turned to gaze out at the sprawling city of Boston through his floor-to-ceiling windows. The city that once symbolized achievement now seemed stifling. A message from Emma made his phone buzz. I appreciate your time today. Evening meal at my accommodation. This time it's on me. In a hotel room across town, Emma walked back and forth while on the phone with her brother. Luke, could you clarify what you mean by the bank not extending the loan? She inquired, the strain evident in her tone. Precisely what I mentioned, Luke responded. Dad preferred not to add to your stress during the conference, but we really need to come up with a plan by fall. We always find a way, Emma insisted. This isn't the moment, Em. 3 adjacent ranches have already been sold to a development group. Whispers suggest they're proposing twice the market value. Emma collapsed onto the bed. Sales are not an option. That land embodies our legacy. History doesn't cover expenses. Luke's tone grew gentler. Just return home with a few concepts, all right? During dinner that evening, James observed Emma's preoccupation. Is everything okay at home? He inquired as they completed their meal. Emma paused, uncertainty flickering in her mind. Challenges on the ranch. I've dealt with this kind of situation countless times. James mentioned that he has some insights into business challenges. Perhaps I could offer my assistance. I appreciate it, but the situation is quite intricate. Emma averted her gaze. Challenges in Montana don't easily align with solutions in Boston. James sensed the profound separation between their realms keenly. Emma thrived in the embrace of open spaces and the warmth of community connections, whereas his existence was consumed by the pursuit of acquisition targets and the relentless chase of profit margins. Emma spoke up, her thoughts clearly brewing in her mind. Have you considered a trip to Montana? Do you see the ranch? James almost sputtered on his wine. Montana? Perhaps a bit too quaint for the urban planner? Emma responded with a grin, ready for the challenge. No, I simply... James hesitated, his mind racing back to the resort plans he had greenlit just hours before. That's perfectly fine if it's not your preference. Our way of living isn't for everyone. I'd be delighted to join, James found himself saying, setting aside the looming conflict that awaited them. When will it be? I'm returning on Sunday. Arrive next weekend. Let me demonstrate what true effort entails, she playfully challenged. After a fortnight, James's private jet landed gracefully at the quaint airport in Montana. He had felt an unusual sense of anxiety while organizing this journey, directing Michael to halt all communications with landowners until he was back. Emma stood by her truck, the expansive Montana scenery unfolding behind her. Her black cowboy hat, reminiscent of their first dinner, sat securely atop her head, while she had swapped her Boston attire for a pair of well-worn jeans and a cozy flannel shirt. Text, your chariot awaits, she called as he approached with his lavish luggage. I trust you kept it simple. The hour-long drive to Wilson Ranch unveiled a Montana that brochures and proposals failed to convey. Mountainsides adorned with vibrant wildflowers, creeks meandering through lush valleys, and expansive fields of grazing land. All that space, James whispered, feeling a sense of awe at the vastness that contrasted sharply with Boston's crowded streets. That's Wilson land, Emma said, gesturing towards a vast expanse of property set against the mountain foothills. 3,000 acres inherited from my great-grandfather. The primary residence was an expansive timber edifice, characterized not by rustic charm but by its sturdy functionality. A man with silver hair and a younger Emma stood patiently on the porch. Dad Luke, meet James Montgomery. As they drew near, Emma facilitated the introductions. Harold Wilson's handshake exuded confidence, his gaze penetrating. So you're the charming fellow who's been captivating my daughter. Dad, Emma cautioned. Harold continued, expressing his curiosity about what a Boston developer finds intriguing about our modest operation. James stood still. What led them to discover his line of work? Did Emma find out about the resort plans? Luke advanced with purpose. Emma mentioned that you engage in property development. It must be a significant contrast to our practices here. James eased his tension a bit. They were aware of his role as a developer, yet they remained oblivious to Mountain View Resort. Indeed, he concurred. I am eager to explore the intricacies of ranch operations. Harold gave him a friendly pat on the shoulder and said, Hope you came prepared. We don't do formalities around here. As Emma guided James to the guest room, he was pleasantly surprised by the inviting warmth of the home. Walls adorned with family photos, beds draped in handmade quilts, and windows showcasing mountain views that no urban high-rise could rival. I'll give you some time to get comfortable. Emma paused at the entrance. Just a heads up, our dinner chat will cover topics like cattle feed costs and veterinary crises. James wore a smile. I seek to immerse myself in the authentic essence of Montana. Once she departed, James gazed out the window at the terrain his company had labeled Acquisition Target 23A. The land that bore Emma's family legacy now stood as his most intricate blend of professional and personal hurdles to date. Are you asking me to do what now? James gazed at the horse saddle that Luke presented to him as the first light of dawn broke the horizon the following morning. Luke beamed at the sight of the city boys embarking on their first riding lesson. Emma mentioned that you're excited to immerse yourself in genuine ranch life. James shot a frantic look at Emma, who stood by the stable door, her smile radiating an air of innocence. I might have overstated my excitement a bit. With a soft touch, Emma caressed the chestnut mare, Daisy, who exuded a gentle spirit. She almost propels herself forward. An hour later, James's designer jeans were coated in dust as he clumsily trailed Emma across a pasture, his body protesting with every jarring movement of the saddle. "You're a natural," Emma called back, a hint of laughter in her voice. James tightened his grip on the reins as the horse carefully navigated a small ditch, remarking, "I believe Daisy and I see gentle in quite different ways." By midday, James had mustered enough confidence to engage in conversation while riding. Emma guided him to a serene creek where the cattle congregated. "This is the essence of Wilson Ranch," she elaborated. "The water rights by themselves render this land priceless. This watershed has been safeguarded by 3 generations." James nodded, perceiving the property with fresh perspective, not merely as a chance for development, but as a vibrant legacy. He noted your deep affection for this land. "It transcends mere land." Emma dismounted beside the creek. "It defines who we are. Dad instilled in us the understanding that the ranch is not ours to possess. We are caretakers, ensuring that we hand it over to the next generation in an improved state." While they enjoyed a packed lunch by the water, Emma's phone suddenly rang. Her demeanor shifted to one of gravity as she responded. "I'll be right there," she said, hurriedly gathering her things. "The Andersons' mare is experiencing complications during her labor. I must make my way to their location." "How may I assist you?" James inquired. Emma appeared taken aback by the proposal. "Are you ready for a genuine veterinary crisis?" At the neighboring ranch, James observed in awe as Emma morphed into Dr. Wilson. With unwavering assurance, she navigated the troubled mare through a challenging passage. "Hold this," she directed, passing James the surgical tools as they were required. Even though he felt a wave of unease at first, he became captivated by the urgency of rescuing 2 lives. As the foal finally made its entrance and inhaled its first breath, the relief and joy radiating from Emma captivated James more profoundly than any successful business deal ever could. He grappled with his thoughts during their drive back. "Just another day," Emma shrugged, her pride shining through, even if she typically had less dashing company. That evening, Harold extended an invitation to James to join him on the porch, as Emma busied herself with dinner alongside Luke. "She's truly remarkable, my Emma." Harold gestured toward the house. "She had the opportunity to establish a renowned practice anywhere, yet she chose to return here. What prompted her to do that?" James inquired. "For some individuals, the bonds of family outweigh the allure of wealth or status," Harold observed in James. "Do you have relatives in Boston?" "Only my sister Olivia," James responded. "Our parents passed away when I was just a child," and Harold's expression grew tender. "I'm truly sorry to hear that, my dear. Perhaps it elucidates the reasons behind your relentless dedication to creating and constructing." James had never thought about this link until now. "Perhaps you have a point. There's a community meeting scheduled for tomorrow evening, and Harold has shifted the topics of discussion. Communities are concerned about external developers acquiring local ranches. Your presence is encouraged. Take a look at the challenges we face." James felt a knot form in his stomach. "Absolutely." Later that night, once the house had fallen silent, James settled onto the porch, grappling with a challenging decision. "Michael, we ought to take another look at the Montana project," he murmured. "Because you've become weak over some ranch girl." Michael's voice carried a sense of disbelief. "The investors are dedicated, James. We will be showcasing our work at the community meeting tomorrow." "Excuse me? I believed we had come to a consensus to take a break." "We are eagerly anticipating. 3 adjacent ranches have already secured contracts. I will be arriving tomorrow." James concluded the conversation, a heavy sense of foreboding weighing down on him. His corporate existence was on the brink of intersecting with Emma's ranch lifestyle much sooner than he had anticipated. The following day unfolded in a whirlwind of ranch endeavors. James found unexpected pleasure in the hard work, repairing fences with Luke and assisting Harold in inspecting the irrigation systems. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Emma discovered James gazing at the mountains, which were bathed in a warm golden hue as the light waned. I have something to share with you before the meeting, she said, guiding him towards the stables. They journeyed to a crest that provided a sweeping view of the entire valley below. The sweeping vista left James utterly speechless. Mountains embrace the quilt of ranches, while creeks weave shimmering trails through lush pastures. This is where I gather my thoughts. Emma dismounted. In moments of challenging choices, this is where I turn to seek clarity. James approached her at the brink. It's astonishing. Isn't it something that deserves our protection? Emma's gaze locked onto his. Without a doubt, he responded with sincerity, even as turmoil churned within him. As the sky transformed into a rich shade of purple, Emma inched nearer. I was surprised to find myself drawn to you, James Montgomery. He confessed that none of this was anticipated. As their lips met, the mountains and valley appeared to dissolve into nothingness. In that singular, flawless instant, Emma was all that existed. Her warmth, her strength, her unexpected gentleness. The enchantment shattered as Emma's phone vibrated. Reluctantly, she suggested we should head to the meeting. Descending from the ridge, James grappled with the weight of the knowledge that lay ahead in town. The exquisite moment they had experienced rested precariously on a bedrock of hidden truths that were destined to crumble by dawn. Emma, he started, there's something important I must share with you regarding my company. Whatever it may be, it can hold off for now, she smiled. This evening is dedicated to welcoming you into the community. As they neared the town hall, James noticed a luxurious SUV with rental plates parked out front. Through the windows, he caught sight of Michael arranging the presentation materials. His realms were on the brink of intersection, and James found himself out of time to make a choice between them. As James and Emma stepped into the Pine Valley Community Center, the air was alive with lively chatter. Farmers and ranchers gathered in anxious clusters, their faces etched with concern. James sensed the familiar tension that often filled the room during numerous corporate gatherings, where individuals confronted the discomfort of impending transformation. Emma, a number of community members came forward, offering her friendly greetings before casting inquisitive glances at James. This is James Montgomery, Emma announced with pride. He's making a trip from Boston. James extended his hand, a growing sense of unease washing over him as he noticed Michael meticulously organizing papers at the front of the room. His business partner offered a brief nod of recognition. Emma remarked that it should begin shortly as she located seats close to the front. Mayor Collins convened this meeting due to the unexpected sale of several ranches. Just as James was about to reply, Mayor Collins stepped up to the podium. Everyone, I understand your worries regarding the latest property transactions. This evening, we will host representatives from Montgomery Developments who will share their vision for our community. Emma's hand stilled on James's arm. Montgomery, she murmured, glancing at him with a flicker of understanding. Michael advanced with assurance. Good evening. My name is Michael Peterson, and I serve as the Chief Operating Officer at Montgomery Developments. We are thrilled to unveil our vision for Mountain View Resort, an upscale destination poised to create jobs and stimulate economic growth in Pine Valley. The projector cast a glow, showcasing renderings of an expansive resort complex layered over a recognizable landscape. The exact ridge where James and Emma had exchanged their first kiss just hours before. Michael continued, noting that our CEO and founder couldn't join us this evening, but we have successfully secured 3 key properties, with offers currently pending on several more. The room burst into a flurry of inquiries and dissent. James remained frozen as Emma gradually pulled her hand away from his arm. You're the company, she murmured, her voice almost lost in the chaos around them. This is your doing. Emma, let me clarify, James started. Montgomery Developments aims to maintain the area's natural charm while crafting a unique sanctuary. Michael's voice resonated above the gathering. Property owners can expect substantial offers that exceed market value. What about water rights? Harold Wilson took a stand. What occurs for ranchers downstream when you're filling up swimming pools and irrigating golf courses? Michael assured that every environmental impact has been thoroughly examined. Regarding nearby properties such as yours, Mr. Wilson, we are ready to talk about highly advantageous terms. Emma rose suddenly. You knew, she called out to James, her voice carrying for the nearby residents to catch every word. You arrived with the knowledge that your company intended to demolish our homes. All eyes turned to James as a wave of acknowledgement swept across the room. James Montgomery, Mayor Collins reiterated. So you're in charge? James stood, confronting the gathering of the community. Indeed, I established Montgomery Developments. But you believed you would what? Identify our vulnerabilities? Feign concern for our existence before obliterating it? Emma's voice trembled. Was any of it genuine, James? Everything was genuine, James asserted. Emma, I've been reflecting on the project. Thinking it over? Michael cut in with a pointed remark. James, we have secured commitments from investors. Agreements finalized. The atmosphere erupted into turmoil as ranchers raised their voices with inquiries and allegations. Throughout the ordeal, James observed as Emma's expression shifted from pain to fury. I trusted you, she said quietly before turning away. I welcomed you into my space. Harold stepped closer, wrapping a reassuring arm around his daughter. I believe it would be best for you to take your leave, Mr. Montgomery. Harold, I didn't come here to mislead anyone, James urged the older man. The recent days have revealed the true significance of this land to me. Still, your company continues to extend offers, still scheming to transform ranches into resort cabins. Harold responded calmly. Deeds carry more weight than mere talk, my boy. Luke navigated his way through the throng of people. You've got some nerve, he said, confronting James. While you were indulging in your cowboy fantasies with us, your associates were coercing our neighbors into selling. That wasn't my intention, James maintained, observing as his bond with Emma disintegrated with every fleeting moment. James, Michael exclaimed with urgency. It is essential that we come together to tackle the concerns of these individuals. Emma's laugh carried a sharp edge. These individuals, this is our community. These are our lives that you're handling as if they were mere business assets. Mayor Collins reestablished control, permitting Michael to proceed with the presentation. James found himself caught in a delicate balance, torn between the enterprise he had cultivated and the bond he had discovered with Emma. Once Michael concluded, Emma turned to her neighbors. The Wilson Ranch is currently not available for purchase. Not at this moment, nor at any time in the future. I'm here to support anyone ready to take a stand against this development. Applause echoed softly in the room as James sensed the last door shut behind him. In the crisp evening air, James made another attempt to connect with Emma. I had planned to share this with you this evening. Beyond the ridge. No, Emma interrupted him. Refrain from bringing up that location. You were fully aware of your actions, James. Drawing nearer, earning my confidence, uncovering our weaknesses. That's simply not the case, James argued. Encountering you transformed my entire world. I have been working on steering the project in a new direction. But your partner is currently inside, revealing intentions to dismantle our community. Emma retorted. The neighboring ranches have already been acquired by your company. James explained with a sense of urgency that altering business decisions requires time. Additional time was essential. Time is running out. Families are currently facing pressure from your company, influencing their decision-making processes. Emma's eyes sparkled with a captivating brilliance. Return to Boston, James. Your assistance is not required. Harold stepped out of the community center. Emma, the Hendersons are seeking guidance regarding their offer. They are experiencing a sense of pressure. Emma nodded, her posture becoming more resolute. I'll be there shortly. She glanced over her shoulder at James. Farewell, Mr. Montgomery. James observed her as she turned and departed. The gap that separated them was now quantified by more than mere miles. Michael walked over, carrying his briefcase. Things might have turned out more favorably had you adhered to the strategy. What transpired for you in this place? James gazed at the community center, the place where Emma had vanished from sight. I witnessed something far more valuable than a luxury getaway. Michael, it's time to reconsider our strategy. While you've been busy with your ranching, I've been working hard to keep this project going. Michael snapped. The investors are looking for profits, not emotional appeals. I remain the CEO, James asserted with conviction, and I won't approve any further offers until I've thoroughly reevaluated the entire project. The board is not going to appreciate this, Michael cautioned. Then they can seek out a different CEO, James responded, surprising himself with his own words. I'm heading back to Boston tomorrow, but this isn't finished yet. As James strolled toward his rental car, he cast a glance back at the valley bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. Amidst that scenery lay the ridge where he had momentarily sensed a connection to something genuine. At this moment, much like Emma, it felt utterly unattainable. As James's private jet descended 2 days later, the skyline of Boston appeared unfamiliar to him. The glass towers that once symbolized success now appeared stark and alien to the earth below. "Welcome back, Mr. Montgomery," his driver said as he arrived at the airport. "Should we proceed straight to the office? Ms. Reynolds has arranged an executive board meeting for your return." "The penthouse first," James responded with a hint of fatigue. "Patience is a virtue. The board can hold off for now." In his apartment, James gazed at the harbor view that had once filled him with tranquility. At that moment, all he could perceive was the absence of mountains, vast skies, and the spark of Emma's defiant grin. His phone vibrated, displaying Olivia's name. He had been dodging her calls ever since he departed from Montana. At last, his sister burst out when he responded, "What occurred?" "Emma has chosen silence, and you have vanished from my view." James confessed, "I made a mistake." Magnificently. James Montgomery acknowledging shortcomings? This has to be taken seriously. James explained that his company is working on a resort project that would effectively obliterate her family's ranch and the surrounding community. She was unaware until the news broke publicly while I was present. Olivia paused, lost in thought. "You failed to inform her." "I intended to, but you were developing feelings for her," Olivia interjected, "and now she believes you were merely taking advantage of her." Essentially, James confirmed. "The board meeting scheduled for tomorrow is likely focused on addressing my unpredictable actions regarding the project's pause." "What actions will you take in response to this situation?" Olivia faced a challenge. "What options do I have? Emma has shut me out, and the community views me as the adversary." Olivia remarked that the James she knows never surrenders so readily, particularly when it concerns something significant. Once the call ended, James opened his laptop and started exploring options beyond conventional resort development. He toiled through the night, delving into conservation easements, agricultural tourism, and sustainable development frameworks. In the heart of Montana, Emma immersed herself in rallying the community for resistance efforts. The kitchen table at Wilson Ranch transformed into the hub for examining contracts and exploring legal avenues. Yesterday, Luke reported that the Petersons signed, marking yet another addition to their map of sold properties. "That makes 5 ranches now." Emma rubbed her weary eyes. "Did they bother to seek legal advice?" "They're frightened," Harold remarked, taking a seat at the table with them. "Montgomery is presenting cash buyouts that appear quite generous. Individuals perceive an opportunity to step away from their careers free from financial burdens. At the expense of all we've established here," Emma contended. "Once these ranches transform into resort properties, they will never return to being productive land." Harold appeared distressed. "Regarding that matter, Dr. Miller reached out. The results of my test have arrived." Emma and Luke stood still, caught in the moment. "What are the test results?" Emma insisted. "Dad, what secrets are you keeping from us?" Harold brushed off their worries, attributing it to mere chest pains. "However, the physician advises me to adopt a more relaxed approach, minimizing physical exertion." "How much simpler?" Luke inquired. Notably, Harold confessed. "This adds layers of complexity to our situation." Emma sensed the burden of duty pressing down more firmly upon her. "We'll find a way. It's our constant practice." That evening, Emma stood on the ridge, gazing down at the valley below. The shimmering lights of nearby ranches sparkled in the darkness, each one a testament to a family steeped in generations of heritage connected to the earth. The sound of her phone ringing broke the silence. Olivia's weekly conversation. Emma had been steering clear of her friend ever since she got back from Boston. "I know you're upset," Olivia remarked as Emma finally responded. "Your brother exploited me to gather details about our ranch," Emma responded with tension in her voice. Olivia stood her ground, insisting, "That's not James. He can be ambitious and occasionally unaware, but he lacks any manipulative tendencies. He concealed his identity while his company was focusing on our community. And he's been awake for 3 days straight, searching for a solution," Olivia countered. "Did you realize he nearly lost his parents' house to developers during his teenage years?" Emma hesitated. "Excuse me? Following the passing of our parents, we came perilously close to losing it all. A development company successfully navigated the rezoning process, resulting in property taxes that have become unmanageable for us." James stood by, powerless, as unfamiliar faces tore apart our sanctuary. "That is the reason he established his company. His safeguard lay in the power of possession." Emma pondered the new information, recalling the look on James' face when she had revealed the ridge to him. "It doesn't alter the impact his company is having on my community," Olivia replied. "No, but it could shed light on why he's currently at odds with his own board in search of an alternative. He truly values you, Emma, in a way I've never witnessed him value anyone else." In Boston, James confronted the Montgomery Developments Board during a charged meeting. "These delays are resulting in significant financial losses," board member Victoria Harrington remarked with a chilling tone. "The Montana project was your brainchild, James. Now you're undermining it." "I'm enhancing it," James replied, presenting his latest proposal. "Our present strategy yields immediate gains, yet undermines the very essence that gives the region its worth. This option maintains operational ranches, all the while crafting a unique resort atmosphere. Collaborations between ecotourism and agriculture?" Michael let out a derisive laugh. "Our investors anticipate opulent lodgings and a sense of exclusivity, rather than rustic farm experiences. They anticipate returns," James clarified. "This method provides lasting benefits while maintaining the integrity of the community." Victoria suggested that the board should reflect on whether your personal entanglements are influencing your judgment. "My judgment has never been clearer," James stated with conviction. "I need 30 days to refine the project plan. If you're uncertain, I'll take a back seat." Following a heated vote, James clinched his 30 days. He swiftly gathered a group of specialists in environmental consulting, agricultural economics, and sustainable tourism. They toiled tirelessly, crafting a thorough alternative that would maintain the land's integrity while fostering economic opportunity. Time drifted by with no word exchanged between James and Emma. As he reimagined the resort concept, she coordinated community meetings and sought advice from environmental lawyers. Harold's condition worsened, leading to challenging discussions at the Wilson Ranch. "We must face the facts," Luke contended one evening. "Father requires a reduction in stress levels. We require funding for our equipment enhancements, and Montgomery Developments remains steadfast in their position. So we simply give in," Emma insisted. "We adjust," Harold interjected. "For 3 generations, our family has encountered various challenges. We have consistently discovered a path ahead. I refuse to allow them to seize this land," Emma asserted. "No one is taking anything," Harold said softly. "However, we cannot continue this struggle forever. A sustainable solution is essential." That evening, Emma immersed herself in a collection of old family photographs in the attic, drawing inspiration from the resilience of her ancestors who had safeguarded the ranch through trials and tribulations. A weathered box marked Grandpa Wilson 1965 piqued her curiosity. Within the confines of the room, surrounded by rodeo ribbons and ranch records, she stumbled upon a collection of letters bound together with a weathered ribbon. The initial envelope contained a picture of a young woman dressed in stylish 1960s clothing, positioned under the iconic Old North Church in Boston. The inscription on the reverse said, "To my cowboy, journey east and seek me out. With affection, Eleanor Montgomery." Emma gazed at the name in disbelief, carefully unfolding the letter with quivering fingers. The Pine Valley Community Center was overflowing with people. Whispers circulated that Montgomery Developments was set to reveal a new plan, drawing in every family impacted by the changes. James lingered at the rear, heart pounding, as he watched Emma seated in the front row next to her father and brother. She was still unaware of his presence. The meeting was called to order by Mayor Collins. We have come together today as Montgomery Developments seeks the chance to share a revised proposal. Please remember to listen with respect. Whispers flowed among the audience as James made his way to the front. Emma's posture became noticeably rigid when she caught sight of him. James started by expressing his gratitude for the opportunity. 3 months ago, I arrived in Pine Valley, unaware of the unique qualities that define this community. I perceived land as an asset instead of a legacy. He halted, locking eyes with Emma intently. I admit my mistake. The initial plan for the Mountain View Resort was inherently misguided, as it overlooked the essential truth that the true worth of this valley resides in its vibrant working landscape and the dedicated individuals who nurture it. James showcased fresh renderings, not of an expansive resort, but of a more compact integrated development that maintained the essence of the valley. The updated strategy minimizes our impact by 70%, he clarified. Rather than substituting ranches with resort features, we suggest collaborating with interested landowners to develop an agricultural tourism hub that honors ranching traditions. The presentation outlined the ways in which the development would finance conservation easements aimed at safeguarding water rights and wildlife corridors, all while establishing a land trust to ensure the continued operation of working ranches. For families eager to maintain their ranching legacy, we provide opportunities for infrastructure investment and assured purchase agreements for goods utilized in the resort's farm-to-table dining establishments. James continued, for individuals prepared to make a change, we provide equitable market value along with a portion of the revenue generated from tourism activities on their previous properties. Harold Wilson leaned forward with keen interest as James detailed a veterinary and agricultural education center featured in the plan. This method maintains the unique charm of Pine Valley while fostering lasting economic prospects, James concluded. I invite your inquiries and thoughts. The atmosphere was charged with a flurry of hands and animated voices. For more than an hour, James fielded incisive inquiries regarding water consumption, property taxes, and job security assurances. During the entire conversation, Emma chose to stay quiet. Her expression was a mystery. At last, she rose to her feet. Silence enveloped the room in an instant. Emma recognized the potential in this proposal. Yet, expressing thoughts through language is a simple task. What assurances can we expect that once construction starts, these commitments will be honored? James confronted her challenge head-on. That's a valid inquiry. A legally binding community oversight board has been established, endowed with veto power over development decisions. Furthermore, I have taken the initiative to acquire the 3 ranches that have been sold to Montgomery Developments and have placed them into a conservation trust. Soft murmurs and sharp intakes of breath rippled through the crowd. Mayor Collins clarified that you purchased them with your own funds. Indeed, James has confirmed. No matter the outcome of the resort proposal, those properties will continue to serve as active agricultural land. As the meeting came to a close, community members gathered around James, eager to pose their lingering questions. Amidst the throng, he observed as Emma gracefully made her way outside. Once he managed to free himself, he discovered her patiently waiting in the parking lot. Well, that was a surprise, she remarked as he drew near. Which section? Everything, Emma confessed, particularly your personal acquisition of those ranches. I truly stand by my words regarding the importance of safeguarding what is significant, James responded. Regardless of whether our paths cross again, I felt it was important to set things straight. Emma regarded him with careful consideration. The oversight board added a nice element. James disclosed that it was, in fact, your father's idea. He has dedicated weeks to perfecting the proposal. Did Dad know about this? Emma appeared taken aback. Following his heart attack. What did he say? Emma cut in. James flinched. Did he not mention it to you? Approximately a month ago, he reached out to me. He mentioned experiencing a mild heart attack and expressed a desire to explore possibilities for the ranch's future. Emma couldn't believe what she was hearing. That obstinate individual. He has deep feelings for you, Emma. He sought answers, not mere opposition. They remained quiet as the parking lot slowly cleared out. Emma finally spoke, her hand diving into her bag. Correspondence exchanged between your grandmother Eleanor Montgomery and my grandfather William Wilson during the 1960s. James gazed intently at the aged envelopes she revealed. My grandmother? That can't be done. Seems that way. She dedicated a summer in Montana capturing stunning images for a travel magazine. They found themselves entwined in love, yet their families stood firmly against it. Distinct realms, unbridgeable gaps. Just like us, James murmured gently. Perhaps, Emma acknowledged. While you have undoubtedly made remarkable efforts to connect those disparities. The town square was beautifully transformed for the Autumn Harvest Festival, adorned with pumpkins, hay bales, and twinkling string lights. In the soft glow of twilight, local bands serenaded the night, while couples twirled gracefully beneath a canopy of stars. James spent 2 weeks in Montana collaborating with the community to enhance his proposal. This evening heralded the commemoration of a pact that garnered widespread approval among the community. He lingered at the periphery of the crowd, observing families who had once regarded him with wariness, now relishing the delights of the festival, sponsored by Montgomery Developments as a sign of goodwill. You look great! Emma's voice came from behind him. She donned a modest blue dress, her iconic black cowboy hat swapped for a crown of autumn blooms. Indeed, you do, James responded, absorbing the change in her. Even so, I find myself longing for the hat. Emma beamed with delight. Certain moments demand transformation. Would you care to dance with me? He inquired, reaching out his hand. As they swayed to the rhythm, James caught sight of Harold observing them with a nod of approval. Your father appears to be doing better, he noted. Emma confirmed that the new treatment is effective, and having a clear vision for the ranch's future has alleviated a burden from him. What about you? Have you made a decision regarding the directorship of the veterinary center? Emma gave a slight nod. I received it this morning. This opportunity allows me to grow my craft while maintaining my ties to the ranch. I'm really pleased, James expressed with genuine warmth. Your expertise is essential for the project. Is that truly the sole reason you're pleased I'm sticking around? Emma faced a challenge. James ceased his movements, locking eyes with her. You're aware that it isn't. The months that have passed without you have felt like an endless void in my existence. Boston no longer feels like home. And where does it truly feel like home? Wherever you may find yourself, he replied with ease. A satellite office has been established in Pine Valley. Michael is overseeing the operations in Boston. So, you're going to be in Montana? Emma's expression was one of astonishment. James explained that this project requires personal oversight, and there's a woman I'm hoping will give me another opportunity. She might, Emma responded, a smile dancing on her lips. If you're intending to stay long enough to demonstrate your worth, I was considering permanently, James said softly. As the melodies flowed and constellations twinkled in the sky their ancestors cherished, Emma and James drew nearer, the last barrier between their realms vanishing with a kiss that heralded fresh starts. Half a year later, on the ridge that had initially brought them together, James knelt before Emma as the sun dipped below the mountains. The valley below now revealed the initial stage of their joint vision, featuring working ranches harmoniously blended with carefully designed tourism facilities. This ridge will forever remain safeguarded, James vowed, as he revealed a small box holding a ring, mirroring the depth of my affection for you. Emma's tears mingled with her smile as she embraced his proposal, envisioning the bright future that lay ahead for Wilson Ranch and Montgomery Ridge Resort. 2 years following James's presentation of his updated development plan to the Pine Valley community, the Wilson Ranch underwent a remarkable transformation, adorned with joyful decorations and white tents for a truly special event. The meadows were adorned with a vibrant tapestry of spring wildflowers, while the orchard trees that James had assisted in planting were starting to bloom, mirroring the evolution of a relationship that had transformed from its tumultuous origins to the joyous occasion of today. Cease your fidgeting, Olivia commanded, as she meticulously adjusted James's tie in the main house. You confront adversarial board members and irate ranchers. Yet the thought of your own wedding leaves you quaking. A distinct type of nervousness washed over James as he looked out the window at the guests congregating near the ceremony site. The same ridge where he had shared his first kiss with Emma, now reachable by a winding path instead of horseback. Outside, Harold Wilson welcomed guests with a beautifully carved walking stick, a significant upgrade from the wheelchair he had relied on during his recovery. The heart attack that had almost stolen him away had, in turn, bestowed upon the family a fresh gratitude for their moments spent together. Mayor Collins remarked to Harold, "I never thought I'd see Montgomery and Wilson joining forces. This day would surely evoke a strong response from your fathers." Harold let out a soft laugh. "Times evolve, yet I have a feeling my father would remain unfazed." The letters Emma discovered imply that he never fully moved on from Eleanor Montgomery. Luke walked over, clad in his elegant Western attire. The restaurant at the resort just reached out. Their inaugural farm-to-table dinner featuring Wilson beef was completely booked within 3 hours. Text, Harold nodded with pride, affirming that the cattle management program is indeed effective. James had a valid point regarding the premium pricing associated with sustainable ranching. Within the bridal suite, once Emma's childhood sanctuary, Olivia assisted her friend with the finishing touches. "Do you recall when I first brought up my brother, who is a successful businessman?" Olivia chuckled softly. "Your resolve to hold a grudge against him was palpable." Emma adjusted her dress, a simple yet elegant design that beautifully complemented the antique lace veil passed down from her grandmother. "I believed we shared no similarities whatsoever. And now you're creating something extraordinary together," Olivia remarked, pointing to the window where the Veterinary Education Center loomed in the distance, already welcoming its inaugural class of students. As they discussed collaboration, Emma's smile took on an enigmatic quality, her hand resting gently on her abdomen. Olivia squealed with delight as she announced that James's wedding gift would be arriving in about 7 months. "Is he aware?" "Not at this moment," Emma responded. "I will inform him today." With the gentle strains of piano music heralding the start of the ceremony, guests settled into their seats along the ridge. The landscape unfolded in a breathtaking vista of Pine Valley. Ranches that have been carefully maintained coexist with well-conceived resort features, creating a setting where heritage and advancement coexist in perfect balance. James stood beneath a vibrant arch of native wildflowers, with Michael by his side as the best man, their earlier disagreements about the project now a distant memory. The once doubtful individual had transformed into a believer in James's vision after witnessing the financial triumph of their inaugural year. As Emma graced the scene alongside Harold, her captivating beauty left James in awe once more. She donned her grandmother's veil alongside the black cowboy hat that had captivated him during their initial encounter, now embellished with a delicate white ribbon. "Who presents this woman?" the minister inquired. "Her family and community," Harold replied, the customary answer adjusted to highlight the connections that had enabled this union to flourish. Their vows echoed amidst the mountains, ancient witnesses to countless tales of struggle and perseverance, merging their diverse backgrounds into a unified dream. "Upon my arrival in Montana," James remarked, while grasping Emma's hands, "that I noticed land ripe for development. You revealed to me a legacy to cherish. Your lessons have shown me that genuine richness lies not in possessions, but in the bonds we forge with the earth, with our community, and above all, with you." Emma's vows reflected on their shared journey. "I underestimated you based on your origins instead of recognizing your true self. Your insights have revealed that safeguarding what is important often demands transformation and flexibility. While our grandparents struggled to connect their different worlds, we have forged a fresh path that blends the best of both." As they exchanged rings, a gentle breeze wafted the fragrance of pine and wildflowers across the ridge. The assembled community, ranchers and developers, locals and newcomers, observed the union that represented Pine Valley's new path forward. At the reception, Harold stood to raise a glass in honor of the couple. 2 years back, I believed that Montgomery developments signified the conclusion of Wilson Ranch. Instead, James Montgomery emerged as the partner dedicated to preserving our family legacy. At times, What seems like the biggest challenges can transform into our most valuable gifts. Later, as they twirled beneath the shimmering lights, Emma leaned in to share her news with James. His expression shifted to one of awe as he softly laid his hand over hers on her stomach. "Is that so?" he inquired, his voice heavy with feeling. Emma gave a slight nod. "The confirmation came from the doctor last week. A fresh wave to uphold our legacy." James drew her in, their connection deepening with each passing moment. "I never envisioned possessing all of this. A family, a shared vision, a mission that transcends mere transactions. And I never envisioned becoming enamored with a city developer." Emma chuckled. Life often unfolds in unexpected ways. As dusk descended, they quietly departed from the festivities to their vantage point. The valley beneath shimmered with a myriad of lights. The inviting radiance of time-honored ranch houses, enduring through the years, harmonized beautifully with the elegant lighting of contemporary buildings that enhanced rather than dominated the scenery. How do you imagine our grandparents would react if they were able to witness our lives today? James pondered, his arm wrapped around Emma's waist. "I believe they would take pride in our discovery, a method to celebrate both our backgrounds while forging something original." Emma responded. The stars twinkled into view overhead. The very stars that have observed innumerable generations toiling on the earth beneath them. Now they illuminated a valley changed not through destruction, but through careful growth, reminiscent of the unexpected romance that had brought it to life. As James and Emma Montgomery Wilson made their way back to their wedding celebration, the anticipation of new beginnings blossomed between them. They embraced a legacy that was more robust than either family could have constructed on their own, demonstrating that often the most remarkable love stories commence with the tale of a millionaire who agreed to a blind date with a country girl, underestimating her simplicity until he laid eyes on her.